After all the months of speculation, is Dalvin Cook just going to end up staying with the Minnesota Vikings? Welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus, and the latest rumblings regarding Dalvin Cook pointing to his return to Minnesota. We're going to talk about that. Before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, comment as well. We love to know what you guys are thinking. Love to hear your opinion on this latest Dalvin Cook buzz that is going around the internet. So basically what's coming out now is that Dalvin Cook may elect to take a pay cut with the Minnesota Vikings because it's going to be for more money than he'll receive on the open market. Just knowing that most teams have filled their need at running back through free agency and the draft, and there's not going to be a high demand for the veteran ball carrier. So let's talk about Dalvin Cook. I think the thing that comes to my mind right now is, the Vikings already came out and said, we want to do best by Dalvin Cook, which meant, they held on to him. They gave him that roster bonus for sticking around. So if what's best for Dalvin Cook, him getting the most money, is taking a pay cut in Minnesota, then if they're really going to do that and stay true to that and be known for sticking to their word when they put this shit out there, then signs do point for him coming back to Minnesota. But does this make sense for the Minnesota Vikings after what they've done, how they've geared the roster through free agency and the draft? I tend to think no. I mean, I just don't see how Dalvin Cook fits in. You already put Alexander Madison on the graphics, whatever, that's fine. I mean, you can take them off, you can change the graphics, but you got Madison, you got Kenny Ngwangu, you got Ty Chandler, you drafted Dwayne McBride, you got 4 capable backs, you got CJ Ham, who you extended, so you're going to keep him around. So you really have 5 running backs, and then you're going to add Dalvin Cook into the mix. I don't know. I mean, maybe at a reduced price, it makes sense for them. He's got that home run ability still. I don't know if he's the lead back, if he does come back. Alexander Madison, they re-signed him. They could have let him go, but they brought him back to be the starter, apparently. So, and then Dwayne McBride, too, is a guy who can get a lot of carries. So, I don't know. Roster sense to me, it makes more sense for the Vikings just to take, whatever cap savings they can get by letting him go. But if they do keep him and they do right by Dalvin, like they said they were going to do, how does this affect the current depth chart? Well, obviously, Madison's going to be here. Like I said already, I don't think it's going to be a Dalvin Cook #1. I think it would be a dual-headed situation if he does come back. Dwayne McBride's probably going to be the next guy up for carries. And you got a decision to make on Kenny because, this new kick return rule, we did a video on that, really diminishes his value. Keep him around as this return man. If the return game is going to pretty much be null and void this year, do you really need a guy who that's what he does is return kicks on the roster? I don't know. And then Ty Chandler, we don't know what Ty Chandler is. We barely got to see him last year. Had some injuries in camp and injury during the season. So we didn't get to see a lot of Ty Chandler. So we don't know what he brings to the table either. So Dalvin Cook coming back. I mean, you look at 2 young backs who probably their spots are looking a lot more sketchy. And how long do you keep Dalvin Cook? Is it going to be a 1-year deal? You can keep him around for 2 more? I really don't know. So to me, overall, the most sense makes just to let him go, not have him come back here to the Minnesota Vikings. If he does come back, this really does put roster spots of 2 young players in jeopardy. We'll see. This is interesting. I think Dalvin's a smart guy. He knows what his market's going to be. And, even if he's willing to come back to Minnesota, take this pay cut, are the Vikings going to do it? Are they really going to do it? Is Kwesi going to actually offer him a reduced contract at this point in the game when all signs have pointed to them already trying to trade him, thinking about releasing him after June 1? So it'll be interesting to see where this whole thing goes. We've had months of speculation, months of talk about Cook getting traded, Cook getting cut, and now it's coming full circle for him potentially to come back to the team. Would you guys welcome him back? Would you be excited to have another year of Dalvin Cook on this offense with all these weapons, or are you ready to move on and start life without him? Let me know in the comments. Again, interesting development when it comes to development coming from Minnesota Vikings and Dalvin Cook. We'll see where this thing goes. Let me know in the comments and keep your skull in your hole.